I know that I often find myself having to write the same email to a bunch of different people because either parents have similar questions or colleagues raise similar issues. So it can be really handy to keep a copy of those written messages on hand. And Gmail makes that super easy with something called canned messages or canned responses. And how canned responses work is this. First, you compose a message, and it can be, I would suggest making it only a couple of sentences or only a paragraph. You don't want to make it too long, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Once you've composed whatever it is you want to say, you come down to the More Options button in your Compose window, and you click on Canned Responses, and you save a new canned response. When you do that, it'll ask, what do you want to call this? Now, if you've given a subject line to the email, it'll use the subject line, or if you want to name it something else, that's perfectly fine too. You give it a name, you click OK. It's now saved that message. So now if I throw this out and I get an email from someone who, let's say an angry parent, wants more information about the writing lab. So I can hit reply to that person. I can come down here to my more options. I can go to my canned responses that exist, and I can insert a canned response. There it is, all ready to go. And it has saved, notice that it saved my signature on there, and it saved every single word. Now I can go in and I can edit this, I can revise this as necessary, and it'll all be there for me. And that is canned responses. It can save something that you wrote so that you can just plunk it right down. And if you've got several different canned responses set up, you can add in multiple canned responses to a single email. So in other words, you could basically compose an entire email just from a series of canned responses. So once I've got my canned response done, I'm not going to actually send this to this person. I'm going to discard this, but I could hit send. It'd go to that person as a response. The other thing you can do with canned responses is, if you've got a canned response set up, you could set up a filter. So let's say that I know that this parent, every time they write to me, or let's say this. Let's say that I'm going to, I'm going to skip this part altogether. So let's say that this parent, every time this parent writes to me, I want to send them a specific response back. You know, I know that they're going to always write, and they're going to want to, let's say this. I'm going to get rid of this stuff, and I'm going to say, so let's say that I know that I get emails from people during the day when I'm teaching, and I want to be able to tell them I'm not available, but I'll get back to them as soon as possible. I can create a canned response that will say something like that. So I could type up my message. Once I've got my text composed, I come down to More, Canned Responses, and I want to save a new canned response. That's a great title for it. Click OK. And what I can do is, I'm going to discard that. I can set, I know that this person is always writing me at the most inconvenient times. So I'm going to set a filter for that person. And anytime I get an email from that person, I'm going to send a canned response back to that person. So if I click Create Filter, from now on, anytime I get an email from this person, they're going to get a canned response back. So I can set it for a person. I could set it, again, as a filter. I can set it if it's sent to a certain group of people. I could set like canned response for my team. The entire team will get back to you ASAP. We're just busy at the moment. I can set one based on a certain subject. If somebody writes me with a certain subject line, here's the canned response they get. So canned responses can save you time both in typing individual responses, because you can assemble the paragraphs into an email, or you can filter and have canned responses auto-sent for you. So a couple of handy ways you can use canned responses. Also, you might want to check out the notes on how you can create multiple signatures using canned responses. You can find those on the web page next to this video.